Today I'm going to talk about why I bought the GT3RS. I did not do it solely to annoy my neighbors, but apparently I have. So I'm going to read you the newspaper article they wrote about me in a second here. This is a 2019 Weissach Package GT3RS. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the things you want to know when you're buying a supercar, investing in a supercar, and why I decided to go with the GT3RS Weissach Package, specifically in this spec, this build, this color. So I've owned over 60 vehicles. I've owned Huracans, I've owned Porsches, I've owned a bunch of really cool cars, but this thing performs from a value perspective. There's a reason I ditched the Huracan for the RS. I'm going to break that down in this video. I'm going to show you a clip of actually going, I don't know, 180 miles an hour in it. So for everybody that is a Lamborghini fan, a McLaren fan, a Ferrari fan, okay, I don't dislike those. There's a reason that I bought this $250,000 GT3RS and I got rid of the Lamborghini Huracan. So the Weissach package, let's start off with that. You've got a magnesium roof, which essentially means if you flipped over, it would just probably burn and start a large forest fire. But the really cool thing is weight. I'm down to just below 3,000 pounds. I've got a little bit more power here than a regular RS, and I've got the roll cage, I've got the carbon fiber, I've got the upgraded brake system. This one does have a front axle lift, which a lot of track guys don't like because it's one more thing to malfunction. However, I don't just track this car, I also street use it. And when I had the Huracan, I found that I was always hitting bumps, even if I took everything at a 45-degree angle. The problem is the Huracan, while it does have a front axle lift system, the nose is so much longer. Whereas if you look at the ratio here with the front bumper of this RS, you don't have a whole lot of bumper sticking out past that front axle. So I had the Huracan, I ditched it. That car was going down in value. If you, again, look at a McLaren, unless it's a P1, a Senna, or one of those very, very specialty ones, a Speedtail, it's not going to appreciate in value. 765s, but it just depends. So when I'm evaluating purchasing a supercar, I'm looking at what's my use for it. Do I just want to have fun and I don't care about the value? Okay, you might have a different purpose, but I'm all about exponential leverage. I want the performance, I want the daily use, I want the value, I want it to go up in value, but I want to be able to depreciate it, and I want track use out of it. So this really fit the bill. When I was driving the Huracan, I'm going down the road and I have like parts falling off of it. Literally, I had like my air conditioner unit like come out the vent. I had different little things, just integrity wasn't really there. So the GT3RS, in my opinion, one of the best bangs for the buck, and all around, it's just kind of a 10 out of 10 on the Benz scale. Now, the next thing you want to evaluate when you're buying your first supercar, or you want to get a Weissach package like this, is spec. It's the specific build. And people do not understand this. Like rural car guys understand this. People that collect, people that have done this a time or two, they get it. But you have to look at rarity. It's kind of like, you know, if you had purchased a Formula One car as a store of value or as a collectible, it would be more valuable to have Verstappen's car or Hamilton's car or Leclerc's car compared to, I don't know, Roman Grosjean or Grosjean, or however you say his name, right? Because, or unfortunately, Nico. I love the Hulk, but what is his streak? Person in Formula One the longest without a podium. And it sucks because, you know what? It's not necessarily his fault. He's a good driver. He hasn't been in a car worth the quality of his skills. So you look at spec, you look at rarity. Guard red, they made 3% of the Weissach package in guard red. So obviously you've got a GT3. That's a cool car. You get into the RS, it's a little bit rare. You get into a Weissach package, it's a little bit rare. Now we look at colors like lizard green. That was a pretty common color. Guard red, not so much. Then we look at production numbers. And with the GT3RS in 2019, having 1,000 units produced worldwide, and then we go Weissach package, then we go guard red, then we start inserting things like front axle lift system and different specs like that. It's creating a pretty rare, unique build. Now, at the end of the day, when there's only dozens on the marketplace at any given time, and some get crashed, some don't have clean titles, some have accidents, some have not been factory serviced at a Porsche dealer, this continues to become rarer and rarer and rarer. Which leads me to my next point. It's all about the ownership as well. See, anything you do with a Porsche, with a Ferrari, it gets reported. If you are going to a Porsche dealer for maintenance or a Porsche certified mechanic, everything you do gets logged. If you replace a windshield wiper, it gets logged. If you replace a taillight, and by the way, those are like $3 grand, it gets logged. If you replace a front bumper, unpainted, that's 13 grand, just the bumper, it gets logged. So that's a good and a bad thing. It's good because as long as you maintain the vehicle and you go into Porsche to get your maintenance done, or a Porsche certified mechanic, that history is going to be logged. So when you go to sell, you have a leg up because you bought the correct spec. It's rare. There's multiple levels of rarity. People are helping your market value increase because they're crashing them, they're totaling them, they're not servicing them at Porsche, but you are. Okay. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I don't just talk about cars. It's about business. It's about creating wealth via hard assets, becoming your own bank, and getting out of the modern financial system. So I wanted to save this last part for you guys, and I'm going to be making some more videos on this. Unfortunately, I did not spend enough time recording recently with the modified exhaust here. I'll walk you back and show you, and then in a little bit here, we're going to do a pass by so you can hear how it sounds completely straight pipe. So why the 2019 GT3RS Weissach Package versus a Huracan versus a McLaren versus a Turbo S versus something else? It all comes down to what you want it for, how you're going to use it, why you want the car to begin with. Now, a lot of people are like, I just want a fun car. Guys, business. The Capitalist Network, the company I run, is all about business, hard assets, creating cash flow, creating leverage, lowering taxes. So I'm looking at, hey, it's my daily. I want to track it. I want it to maintain value, and I need to be able to get write-offs, depreciate it, and drop my earned income taxes. Okay, so obviously, if you get a G-Wagon, you've got that 6,000 pound rule, you can depreciate a lot more. But with this vehicle compared to a Huracan, let's just talk about value first of all. It's going up in value. McLarens historically have shit values unless you're very specialty. You're getting a Senna, you're getting a P1 or something like that. But if we just go apples to apples and we look at a $250,000 car, which is kind of your entry point into supercars, right? What are you going to get that has this performance that's going to go up in value that you can still leverage against your earned income, write off, depreciate, etc.? I can't think of much else. So from a business standpoint, from a value standpoint, the GT3RS is one of the best vehicles you could get. The Turbo S is faster in a straight line. We know that. It's got more power. It has a turbo, right? Now, sometime soon, I'll probably get a GT2 RS and obviously have that turbo, but this is one of the fastest production supercars on the Nürburgring. You already know that. Nothing else really comes close for this price point if you're looking at performance, value, being able to depreciate against earned income, and maintaining its value. But nothing else really comes close if you take all of it into the equation. It's track performance, the value, your ability to depreciate, and just the pure price point of getting into a $250,000 car and having all of that in one vehicle. So let's take a peek under it. I'll tell you a little bit about this. This is CRP exhaust. This guy I know out of Arizona does custom exhaust. Now this is full titanium. I've had it tuned. It does not have cats on it. It's full header. There are no mufflers. So for all police officers watching this, it's electric. It's electric. It's a partial zero emission vehicle. And it has no sound, and it's actually a 0 decibel vehicle. And I'll show you why. So let's just take a peek underneath. This is your CRP full titanium, and I'll try to kind of sneak back here for you guys. But a lot of weight out of this system because all the original exhaust on this car is like 80 to 100 pounds heavier. So you've got a pretty nice setup right there, trimming out a lot of weight. And in addition to that, with the tune, I've increased the power by about 46 horsepower. I have yet to dyno it, but that's spec-wise what it should be. Now here's the pass-by. So guys, I hope that gives you some information about what you should be evaluating when you're looking to get into a Weissach Package GT3 RS, annoying your neighbors with your supercar, and just overall evaluating how you go about a purchase and the things you should be thinking about when you're getting into buying your first supercar. Appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed what we talked about today. If there's any topics you want me to make videos on around wealth, around finance, around business, around investing, or around cars, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.